Welcome to Social Media 101, Facebook Marketing and Lead Generation. This webinar is being brought to you by Situated Research and myself, Michelle Ann Sherritt. A little bit about today's session. If you do have any questions, type them in your chat box in your upper right-hand corner. Type in your questions as you think of them. That way, when we do get to Q&A at the very end, we can go back in the slides if we need to. Today's session will be recorded, so if you get interrupted or you need to leave, no worries, because you will be able to view the recording by the end of today. The slides are not going to be available. That's always a question. They are copywritten, but again, the recorded version of the webinar will be. And after the webinar, if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to email us at info@situatedresearch.com. You are all going to be muted for today's webinar just because there are so many of you. It would be a little chaotic if we didn't do that. And I hope that you enjoy today's session. I like my webinars to be interactive. We're going to have some polls here in just a minute where you're going to answer some questions. So it should be enjoyable. Everybody usually gets a lot of information out of our webinars, so hopefully you do as well. Today we're going to discuss social media leads and what those are. We're also going to talk about how social networks can help to generate leads. We'll discuss how to create a steady stream of leads on social networks, and so how to start and maintain discussions. We're going to talk about the best practices of success on Facebook pages, including how to get more people to share your content. And we're also going to discuss incorporating a Facebook welcome page. So we'll talk about what a welcome page is and how you incorporate that within your Facebook fan page. And we're also going to talk about metrics. How do you measure the leads that are coming in? So we're going to talk about Facebook Insights and some marketing analytics to test your campaigns to give you the best results. So before I start, I just want to tell you a little bit about our company called Situated Research. When you all signed up for today's session, you should have been redirected to our website so that you could check it out, see what we're all about. Basically, our main focus here at Situated Research is usability and the user experience. We do this when it comes to websites, video games, and software. So if you have a website that you're not sure if you're getting leads from and getting those conversion rates that you're looking for, you can contact us and we'll help you out with that. Same thing with video games and software. We also have our web design and internet marketing division where we actually do web development. We also do app design, marketing, and social media. So the first poll that I want to launch here is an interactive poll. And so you can see the poll here. I want to know how many social networks do you belong to? So simply click on your answer. Either one, you all belong to one because you signed up for today's session. So you're probably on LinkedIn. So go ahead and mark your answer, 1, 2, 3 or more, or none. Maybe you guys are just following our website and signed up that way. So we'll go ahead. We have 70% of you who have voted so far, so let's get everybody. Okay, 90%? Okay, we'll go ahead and close it. So about 11% of you, let's go ahead and share that with you folks. Okay, so 11% of you said that you belong to 2, and 89% of you said 3 or more. So that's great. Great. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the next slide. We have another interactive poll, and this is just to give us some feedback to kind of sort of help us guide today's session. I want to know how many of you have gained any leads from signing up on these social networks. So just say, yes, I have gained leads, or no, or some, or you're not even sure because you don't know even how to measure it. So the 90% who voted, if you could vote here as well, that would be great. We've got about 60% of you. Just take another second to do this. About 70% of you, 80. Okay, some people don't want to fill this one out. Okay, so we got, okay, there we go. There's everybody. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the poll, and I'll share those results with you. About 22% of you have seen leads. You have gotten leads from joining these social networks. 33% of you haven't, and 44% of you have gotten some leads. So that's great. Thank you for answering those polls. Again, that helps us to guide today's session, and that's really helpful. So thank you. So the thing that you have to know and remember and keep in the back of your head is that social networks do not generate leads. People do. So you can be on as many social networks as you want, but if you don't work the networks, you don't work the groups, you don't know what you're doing, you know, nothing's going to happen. You could have a ton of followers following you, tens of thousands of people, but you don't get any leads. And why is that? Because you don't know how to work the network. You don't know how to work the platform that you're using. So hopefully today's session will help you to learn how to do that. So this webinar follows our webinar on Monday in our Social Media 101 series, where we introduced social networking and social media. And so just to reiterate, what is social networking? Social networking is an online networking tool where you can network with anyone around the world, share ideas, share interests, share you know, events, speaking engagements, whatever you want to share with a large group of people. There's no travel involved. It's very cost effective. You can reach a lot more people than you can with traditional networking, and you build your community, you build your network up. So the first thing that we're doing in today's session is we're going to go ahead and talk about what is a social media lead. So you're probably like, okay, well, it's a lead that you get from social media outlets. Well, that's correct. But how do you know if you have a lead or not? Okay, I get tons of emails every day from LinkedIn, from Facebook, from Twitter. I have people contacting me from all over the world. And are all of these really leads? Are all of these going to turn into a lead and then a client? No. Okay, so you really have to determine, okay, getting all these emails in, I'm getting all this feedback, what's spam and what's worthwhile looking at is your first thing that you have to do. You have to determine if it's worthwhile or not. So you also have to remember that everyone online, everyone on LinkedIn, anyone who has a business fan page on Facebook, anyone who has a Twitter account that's using it for business purposes is doing exactly what you're doing. They're trying to reach their clients, they're trying to get leads, they're trying to convert them into clients, and they're trying to get money. They're trying to get their return on investment of all the time that they've spent on these social networking sites. So if you ever get a message, especially through LinkedIn, that's self-promotional, that's not very helpful. First of all, you don't have a relationship with that person as of yet. You haven't established a relationship. You haven't even talked to this person yet. All you're doing is your first interaction with them is that you're getting an email with self-promotion. So of course, what are you going to do? Delete it. Don't even respond back. That's what I do all the time. I never answer those. And our research has shown that 90% of people don't. They get irritated. And so you have to think that same way when you're doing your social media campaigns and you're posting and you're sending out emails, what other people are going to think when they get a promotional email or a promotional status message or something like that. They're going to ignore it unless they have an established relationship with you online. So another thing to look out for is poorly written posts. I get all the time emails from different parts of the country, which is great. I mean, I'm really excited about that. But when the email is written in poor English, there's spelling and grammatical errors all over the place, it's self-promotional almost 90% of the time, I delete it. That's usually a red flag. The other thing too is I say here, any kind of contacts that you get through out of the country. Not all people who are out of the country are bad and spam, but I will tell you that 90% of the time the emails that I get are. I get a lot of emails because we do website development from companies in India, a lot. And you know, I'll tell you, I have contacts in India that we work very well together, but through LinkedIn, I always get emails from people in India trying to sell me web development. They want us to outsource our projects to them. And I always kindly write back and say, I'm sorry, we don't do that. So, you know, just make sure that you can figure out who's legit and who's not. Do your research. If you get a message through LinkedIn and you're a little suspicious, go to their profile. See what they do. A lot of the time too, especially with our company, because we have such a niche with our usability, we have a lot of our competition trying to figure out what our niche is. And so they very sneaky write emails to me and messages and try to get that information out of me. So you have to do your research. You have to see who's trying to get in touch with you, who's trying to be added to your network. So you already have the skills and the know-how to generate leads the old traditional way. And the old traditional way was you make an initial contact, you hand out a business card, you pay for advertising maybe, you leave brochures at different places for people to pick up, you do free publicity, free speaking engagements, and usually to get these contacts to turn into leads, it's about 7 to 12 impressions face-to-face before anything happens. And this can be through phone calls, this can be through mailings, you can do those as well. And then maybe you get a qualifying lead. A good example of this is when we first started our business at the end of 2008. I had a local company that contacted us for web design work and social media help. And I had met this person at a networking event. So I had attended a networking event, talked to this person, handed out my business card, gave them a little brochure about us. And then we met for coffee a couple of times, and then they were really, really interested, is what they said. And I went out of my way and I took them out for lunch, and nothing ever came of it. And the reason why nothing ever came of it is because this person went on vacation, totally forgot about me. I had emailed them back and forth. I left messages. I even stopped by their store a couple of times, and they just totally forgot about us and decided not to do anything. And all that time going to coffee shops and meeting with them and taking them out to lunch and doing lead nurturing the old traditional way amounted to nothing. And so that was a complete waste of my time. We didn't get any referrals from it. It was a waste of my money. It was a waste of my time. I got nothing from it. We also did a lot of paid advertising at the beginning as well and got nothing from it. We also attended a lot of networking events. We didn't get anything from it except sick. We attended a lot of networking events in the winter time, and that was just a mistake. So old traditional ways of getting leads really do not work anymore. And again, the problems with it is that it's expensive, it's a lot of your time, a lot of follow-up, and just generally a lot of work. So how do you generate leads through social networks? First of all, especially on LinkedIn, you need to join groups of interest. So after you establish a profile and do everything that we talked about in Monday's webinar, you join groups of interest. You look at who the group is, who started the group, look at their profile, see what the group's going to be about, see if it interests you at all, and then join that group. Because we do web design, that's part of our business, I try to get into groups for marketing and consultant groups, anything like that, business consultant groups, anything like that, because they have clients that can use our services. So just join groups of interest that interest you. Then join those discussions that are being started in those groups. Respond to all discussions, as many as you can, because the more you respond, the more presence you have in the group, the more attention you're going to get. You can even, after you feel comfortable, start discussions. Now here when I'm talking about discussions, I'm primarily talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great way to actually start discussions, show your expertise, and get your networking pool going. And we talked about that in Monday's webinar, how to do that and grow your network. Remember that if anybody writes under a discussion that you start, or if you respond to someone else's discussion and you write a comment and someone writes to you, respond to them right away. Okay, so always answer all questions in a timely fashion too. Don't wait a month from now or 2 weeks from now and log into LinkedIn and be like, oh, someone responded, let me respond to them now. They're not interested anymore. They don't even remember what they wrote. So you have to do it right away. You have to be on top of it. Get known. This is a great way to do it, and become an expert. Show your expertise within your industry. So starting discussions, you can do this on Facebook. And you can do this on LinkedIn. Just write something interesting. Make sure that's to the point. You can pose a question to your group of people who are following you to get a discussion going. You can share a story that you found on the internet from a reliable source. You can post a blog post that you just wrote. Get the ball rolling. Get people interested in your interests, in your industry, in your company. This is just a few examples off of our Facebook fan page of how we start a discussion. And so I asked a question first. I said, how many social networks do you belong to? We're writing a case study right now, and I need updated information. And so you can actually post questions to your group, and they can simply click on the answer. So this is on our Facebook fan page. This other post that we put, I thought it was pretty interesting article that I found on gizmodo.com, and it was talking about Wednesday when the whole national security emergency system did their alert, and it made a good point. What if people aren't listening to the radio or are watching TV in the middle of the day? So it was a good point to show how social networking can be involved in the emergency alert system. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I posted it to our Facebook fan page. On LinkedIn, our Naperville Business Network group, which is growing like gangbusters. So if you live in Naperville or in our area in the western suburbs of Chicago, definitely sign up. We have about 800 members right now, and it's growing. It's great. But here's a post that Rachel, one of our account execs here in our website internet division, posted. And what she was supposed to do was to get the word out about a free usability report that we do on websites. So we go over 20 different areas of usability. We make a report, and then one of our account execs contacts you and goes through that with you. It's free. And so she was very clever in her post. Her title was, "How well is your website working for you?" So that gets you thinking, well, I don't really know how my website's working for me. I don't know if I'm getting leads from it or clients from it. I have no idea. Then she posts some other questions. And then she says, if you've wondered why your website isn't bringing you business that you thought that it would, then perhaps you need to get your website analyzed and graded. And then she has a link to our free usability report on our website. And so this grabbed people's interest, grabbed people's attention, got them thinking. They started posting some messages. Rachel wrote back. Someone else posted a message, and I felt I needed to step in, so I did that as well. But we kept the discussion going. And so now we have a ton of people who are on this one post, this one discussion that Rachel started. We now have about 60 people who are following it. And that was done about a month ago. So you really just have to grab people's interest. Pose a question is the greatest way to start a discussion. Get them thinking, and just keep that discussion going. So how do you get leads? I'm going to give you my 10 steps for getting leads. The first step is brand messaging. Everyone has a brand. Everyone's either selling a service or a product. So users want to be able to identify with that brand. A great example is Nike. When people see the Nike logo, users feel that the brand gives them the confidence to succeed. Everyone is seeing Nike. Everyone knows about Nike. They know about the company. It's been around for a very long time. They feel comfortable with them. They trust that company. So you have to think in everything that you post, are you sticking to your brand message? So in order to do that, first of all, you have to know what your brand message is. Then you have to think about what should users know about you. And from your posts, can users tell these things from what you're posting? So a lot of people, especially when I do interviews, they say, you know what, I looked over your website, I went to your social media outlets, I see what you post. And before I even talked to you, I felt very, 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 very comfortable with you. Very comfortable with your company. I trust your company. I can tell that through your website that you guys are good people, you do good work, you're trustworthy, you do everything that you say that you're going to do. And that really melted my heart at the beginning because I was like, wow, we didn't even think about doing that when we, when we made our website. When I post to social media outlets, I just post. And so then they say, especially after talking with you, I feel a lot more comfortable. It just pulls everything together. Which is great. And now, I'm hearing it from clients. So that means that we're doing a really good job with our branding. So you want everyone to have that same feeling about you and your company. So really think about your brand message and what that is. Step number 2 is coming up with compelling messages. You have to craft messages that users can relate to and won't be able to resist. So as in Rachel's post, she says, how is your website working for you? Well, that's something that you really need to think about. A lot of people spend a lot of money on their website. And so is that money for naught? It's a question that really makes you think. And the user who's reading that question can relate to it, and they want to read the rest of the post. Remember that messages usually that sound real, like a real person's talking to you, and it's not a marketing post, will get more attention. So if Rachel had just put for her topic, instead of a question, she put, Situated Research has a free usability report, check it out, or something like that. Well, that's kind of self-promotional. People aren't going to be inclined to click on it and read the rest and learn about their free report. The way she did it, she really related with the user. And so that's why it was a compelling message. Step number 3 is create marketing content. Your competition is using social media, and they're reaching your customers. So you have to stand out in your posts and get noticed. And the only way to do this is to have compelling messages that bring your brand into it and who you are and actually speak to the users. So make a list of marketing content. What can you do to grab people's interest, to get their attention, to believe in you, believe in your brand, trust you, and get your message out and to get noticed? So make a list. Maybe it's blog posts where you show your expertise or you give tips or solutions to problems. It can be anything. And we talked about this in Monday's webinar, that list that you need to make up, and post weekly. My step number 4 is feedback. As I said earlier, when someone takes the time to write a comment or to give feedback, make sure you respond right away. I have so many clients who get we have a social media marketing campaign package that we sell, and we help clients for 2 months bring up their social media marketing and to help them with that. And so I have all the time, I already started on the social media outlets, I'm posting, and so I log into their accounts and I see all these comments and they never responded. It's really bad. It makes you look bad. It makes you look bad professionally. And it makes it look like you didn't even care about what you posted originally. So people, just like they do in person when you meet someone for the first time, you get a first impression, you get that on social media outlets as well, because you're not speaking with anyone. You're not meeting anyone face to face. It's all words typed out. So if you write a post that doesn't make sense, that's an impression. If you write a post with grammatical and spelling errors, that's an impression. If you write a post and people respond back and try to get a discussion going and you don't do anything about it, that's an impression. So you have to always be thinking of that. Also make sure that when you do respond, that you share additional information in your response. Give supporting links to your response. Show that you're an expert. Show that you are active within your field, whatever that may be. And this pertains to every sort of industry. So just think about that. Make sure that you, when you do provide links to support and back up what you're saying, that they're good, reliable links. And actually, Monday we have a webinar following the Social Media 101 series on becoming an expert. And so we show you how to pick and choose those types of links and things that you post for supporting documentation. Step number 5 is Google. Okay? Remember that whatever you post on your social media outlets, any status messages you put on Facebook, all of those are being indexed by Google. Meaning any keywords that are within your posts do get indexed, meaning Google does look at them. And so if you have 600 people responding to a post on LinkedIn, guess what? When someone types in keywords that are contained within that post, your LinkedIn discussion is going to pop up. Guess what that does for you? Well, it gets you exposure. It shows that you're an expert. It gets you people to your website. It gets you a ton of leads. So start those discussions, get them going. The user will be brought to your posts, so you get in front of your potential customers. So you can provide advice and solutions for your potential clients. That's one way of doing this. There are other ways as well, and again on Monday we'll discuss that in becoming an expert. My step number 6 is get noticed. Make friends with other people within your industry, not your competition. So many times we have clients that say, oh, I friended my competition just to see what they're doing. There's other ways to see what they're doing without friending them and letting them see everything that you're doing. You want to connect with people who are not your competition, but who are within your industry. Like I said, we do web design. So we partner up with marketing consultants, business consultants, social media people, and we swap blog posts. I'll write a blog post, and one of our affiliates will be like, oh, that's a great blog post. Can I post it on my blog? Yes, you can. Because at the end of all of my blog posts, I put my name and a link to our website. So guess what? All those thousands of people who are on that person's blog read our post, and they're so intrigued, they're so interested, they love the post, they want to see who wrote it, they want to learn more about me or Dr. Sherritt, whoever wrote the post, and they get brought to our website. They're interested. It's kind of like fishing. So you put out a little bit of food out in the water, kind of get the fish interested. You put out your line, your hook, and guess what? You'll catch a fish eventually. It always happens. You get more exposure this way. And you can share all your social media outlet icons on your email signature and any social media outlets. So when we do blog posts and share those, we have buttons at the end of our blog posts with all our social media icons. So people can click and follow us. So we give them every way, every outlet to connect with us, to follow us. And make sure that your content is easy to share. So this is a great way to do that through social media outlet icons. And in your email signature, as I just stated before, make sure that those buttons are in there as well. So if you ever email me, you'll see that. So basically what this boils down to, if someone does a Google search and your post comes up, the visitor will click on the post. So if you have a great discussion and you have a lot of followers and a lot of people writing comments, visitors will see that in Google. When they do a search, they'll click on the post. The post will bring them to your website, and in turn you'll get leads. It also works if you post something on Facebook or say LinkedIn. The users will click on the link that you put on there or on your profile. This brings them to a landing page. Let's say, like Rachel on Facebook, she posted a little post about our free usability report. So people read about it. They clicked on the link. They were brought to the landing page to find out more information on the usability report and to fill out a short form. And those turned into leads. So it's a very simple process. And this is how you get people to turn into leads. Step number 7 is you have to give. And I have so many clients who are reluctant to do this. Online is very hard to gain trust with customers. We talked about that earlier when we talked about Nike. Branding is very important. Establishing a relationship with people online is important. Doing lead nurturing is important. Always being honest with people. Following and responding to posts is important as well. But sometimes you have to give things away for free. And this is always when our clients say, what? I can't do that. I'm here to make money. I'm paying you to do the social media campaign. I can't give away things for free. Well, as I just showed you in the previous slide, that free usability report that we do for our websites, we always get a lead from it. We either get a referral from it or we get a project from it. Always, always, always. Why? Why is that? You have to give something to get something. So with the free usability report, I told you a little bit about it. 85% of the time it becomes a project and 10% of the time it becomes a referral. 5% of the time they say, okay, well, thanks for going through it with me, but I'm not interested right now. But they always end up coming back a few months later saying, well, you know what? I need help with social media. Or, oh, I want a landing page on my website, or I need a redesign. Why is that? Why do we have such high conversion rates for this free usability report? Well, the reason why is it turns out to be a 16 to 20 page report when done. Okay, so that's huge. It's a lot of information for a business owner on their website. It goes into 20 different areas of usability that they didn't even think of, from their content to their menu navigation to the aesthetics of the website, where items are located, et cetera, et cetera. And then we, on top of it, have an account exec call you and go through the report with you, answer all your questions. Then you can email them later on if any other questions come up. It's free. There's no obligation to them. So it's a lot of work for us, but with these conversion rates, why not? So think about offering something for free within your company. What can you offer for free? Step number 8 is share your knowledge. Share your knowledge within your field. You can do this through blog posts. You can write white papers and case studies. And you can do this for any industry that you're in. Now, some people say to us, whoa, 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 hold on, Michelle. I'm afraid of giving away all of my secrets. Okay? And we are too. Here at Situated Research, we have a niche with usability with Dr. Sherritt's background. And we too were afraid that we're going to give away all the secrets. But see, the problem with that is that you shouldn't be afraid, because knowledge is power. Because we've shared our knowledge and we've shared our little secrets, people know that we stand out. We are the only ones within our industry that do what we do. We are the only ones who perform our usability research and testing the way that we do. And they know this. I could tell them till I'm blue in the face, but that's not going to do anything. Anyone can say anything. But when they actually read our white papers, our case studies, they talk to us, they learn very quickly that we're different. So knowledge can be power. Step number 9 is to produce good content. You have to produce content and then produce enough of it. So HubSpot is a great new website out there. A lot of you have heard of it, that tries to help you with your social media marketing. And they say that businesses must produce enough content for their blog to kick off growth in leads, which is true. But they want you to start with 24 to 51 posts. Okay? That's an overwhelming amount. So don't get overwhelmed by that. That's a statistic that really is over the top. We say that you should post a new post once a week. So whether that be a blog post, a Facebook status message, a LinkedIn discussion that you start, post at least once a week. Start getting in the habit, and then you can increase that to twice a week. Make sure, again, anything you post is interesting, it's relative to the group, and that you show your expertise and knowledge. And the last step, step number 10, is be enthusiastic. Always be excited. Offer free items. Develop a yes attitude to anything. When we first started Situated Research, we had been in the web design industry for about 16 years. And we had clients who said, well, do you do hosting? Well, no, we didn't at the time. Do you do search engine optimization? No. Do you do social media marketing campaigns? No. And so guess what? We lost all those clients. So we had to learn to develop a yes attitude. I studied and studied and studied, and now I'm a social media guru. I'm writing a book that's coming out at the beginning of next year. We do these webinars. We do speaking engagements. Dr. Sherritt has his background in usability. We've learned SEO. We know how to incorporate within your website. We've learned all these things. So now we have a yes attitude. If a client says, do you do something? You do it. You figure out how to do it. You get those good people on your staff that know what they're doing, and you make it happen for your clients. So adopt a yes attitude. And be enthusiastic goes into your promotions because those create buzzes, okay, about your product, about your service, whatever you're doing. And be happy on your networks. I have a personal Facebook fan page, and sometimes I sort of rant and rave about things. That's my prerogative to do. It is my page, my personal page. But on our Facebook fan page, on our business page, we'll never do that. The only exception to that was the other day. If you guys are on Facebook and you saw those annoying ads that were flashing and going in between your status messages and your feed, I found that very annoying. So did a lot of you. I know that's because it was voiced all over Facebook. And they ended that yesterday. So I was like, yay, I'm so excited. So I posted that on our company page. And I didn't care because I was really excited about it. So just be careful. Just make sure that you're happy on your networks. If you have someone, let's say you respond to a discussion on LinkedIn and someone disagrees with you, don't get argumentative with them. Support your ideas. Support your knowledge. Give links. Explain why you think what you think. And again, we'll talk more about that on Monday with our next webinar in the Social Media 101 series, Becoming an Expert. So now let's discuss Facebook welcome pages. First of all, what is a welcome page? Okay, so on Facebook, you have your personal Facebook page. You can also have a business page. So ours is Situated Research. And so you can have a welcome page. And a welcome page is basically a landing page that visitors will see before liking your page. So basically, you go to the fan page on Facebook for the very first time, and a landing page will come up. And it welcomes you to the page, tells you what the page is going to be about. It could also be promotional. I'm going to show you some examples in just a moment. And then you can go ahead and go through the landing page and fill out information, or you can learn more about the promotion or more about the company, and then you can like the page. So it's just the welcome page that you're brought to before you like the page. So in order to do this, you have to know someone who knows a little bit of programming. There's a little bit of programming involved. Facebook tries to make it very easy for anyone to do it, but sometimes it can be a little complicated. So if you do want a welcome page, just contact us and we'll help you out. Some people say, well, why would I want this? This welcome page can tell people about your company before they like it. If you have a campaign going on, you can bring it to the forefront with your users who are coming to your Facebook fan page for the very first time. You can put whatever information you want on that welcome page. So here's a few examples. I went to McDonald's on Facebook. And before you like the page, I'm not a fan of McDonald's as of yet. So I was brought to this page, and as you can see, the like button is here because I haven't liked it yet. And this is the page that you're brought to. This is the landing page, the welcome page. And right now they have a little promotion going on. So, you know, I would click begin your quest and go through the couple pages that they have. It gets people interested in your company. Shows them your new promotion that you're doing. This could also be just a descriptive page about your company. It could be whatever you want. And it grabs my interest, and then I click the like button. Okay? The next one is Wells Fargo. It's a bank financial institution. And so this is their welcome page. And so it says why you'll like the like. Okay? And so it tells you why Wells Fargo is different. gives you a little bit more information. They want to bring to the forefront their job section, service and locations, what you'll get by liking this page. So it gives you information. So this is their landing page, their welcome page. It can be, again, whatever you want. Now let's talk about conversion rates and measuring. You want to convert the people who come to your landing pages to your website into leads, into opportunities, into clients. So conversion is where we take what we have spent time and money to get, so those are visitors, and change them into something valuable to marketing, to leads, to clients. So a cost becomes a benefit. So here's our funnel. We have our target market, which we established in Monday's webinar. And then we have our website visitors, people who come to our website through our posts on social media outlets. Those visitors then turn into leads, then turn into opportunities, and then customers. This is what we want to see. So you have to put calls to action in all your content, anything that you post. Remember at the beginning I showed you the LinkedIn post on our Naperville Business Network group that Rachel did on the free usability report. And there was a gentleman who had a couple questions about the report. And so because Rachel was new, I decided to kind of chime in and give my little input. So I explained, I said, thank you for the comment. So I said, Matt, thank you for the comment. And then I said, actually, the free usability report that we do covers 20 different areas of usability, aesthetics, so on and so forth. And I kind of tell them about the report. Then I say to learn more about the report, please visit our website, and I give them the link. Then I say thanks again for the great comment. So I'm thanking him again for responding to the discussion. Then I give my information, and that's it. So you'll learn this in Monday's webinar if you're following the Social Media 101 series on Becoming an Expert, where at the end of every post, especially on LinkedIn, you give your contact information. On Facebook, you don't do that because they're already on your page. They already have your info. But on LinkedIn, you do this all the time. So they know who you are, and they can link and go back to your website so that you get people that way. But I put in a call to action. I said, to learn more about the report, visit our website, and here's the link. So he had an important question about the report. I thanked him for his comment. I explained the report to him a little bit more, didn't tell him everything, and then I said, click on this link, go to our website and learn more and sign up. Call to action. So make sure that you do that as well. Here are some landing page tips too. This is the actual page on our website to request that free usability report. And when you bring people from your social network and link them to your website, you want to have a landing page. You want to find out who is that person who clicked on that link and was brought to our website. We have to convert that person into a lead. So make sure that you have an established landing page. And on that landing page, limit navigation, make it simple. Our motto and our mission statement, part of it here at Situate Research, is keep it simple. Keep it clear and simple to the point. Make sure that the form is above the fold. What does that mean? That means that if our page is long, make sure that the form isn't at the end of the page. Make it up front. Make it on the top half portion of the page. You'll get more people to fill it out. Create content around it that your target audience will gravitate to. So at the top, we have logos of companies that we've done for usability reports for. Then below, we have some comments that scroll through like a slideshow with testimonials on the report. To the right, we have the actual form for them to fill out. And then below it, we talk about what will be included in the report. Now let's discuss measuring these results. So we get these people to our landing pages, now what? On Facebook, Facebook does a great job of giving you an email once a week, and it's called Facebook Insights. And basically, it's just giving you an insight into your Facebook fan page. So this isn't for personal pages, it's for your business page. So for Situate Research, for 1 week, we had 18 fans that were added for a total of 721. We had 6 people post on our page. We had 10 last week. We had 722 visits to the page and 795 visits last week. So that gives us some data. That gives us some information, because if we have a Facebook marketing campaign going on, that gives us a lot of information. Just yesterday, LinkedIn, if you have a group on LinkedIn that you started, like we started the Naperville Business Network, we're getting statistics now. We're getting actual measurable information. Here it shows us that we have 800 members. Shows, the seniority of those members. Gives us a lot of information, demographics, growth, activity, and we need to know that for our group to keep it growing, to keep it going. And you can actually check out the statistics on any group that you belong to see, okay, is it worthwhile for me to be in this group? How fast is it growing? How many comments are there per week? Is this enough to keep it going for me to be interested? And again, it goes through activity, shows us, okay, last week we had 17 new discussions added to our group. We had 9 new comments last week. Something needs to change. Maybe we need to talk to people, have them come up with catchier titles to their posts, whatever. So this gives us data. Another great tracking tool is Google Analytics. Google Analytics is free. It's through Google. And what it does is you have to put in a couple lines of code, so programming code, within the pages of every page of your website. So you need a programmer who knows how to do that. Again, if you need to know more about that, just email me. We'll help you out. But what it does then is you can actually get statistics from every page of your website. So if you have a landing page, like we have that free usability page, I can click on the page within my Google Analytics. I can see where people are coming from. So I get a nice pie chart like this. Well, they're coming from Twitter. 5.1% are coming from Twitter. 9% are coming from the webinars. 11% are coming from Google. It gives me this information, and it's good information for me to know, because I can say, okay, well, only 9% are coming from the webinars. Something needs to be done about that. Maybe I need to leave my links up longer on the screen or something like that. Things need to change. So I can tweak my campaigns this way. I can see demographics as well. Where are people coming from around the world? I can see the whole globe. I can see countries where people are coming from. If I have a campaign going on in Chicago and a campaign going on in New York, I can see which one's working and which one isn't. If something isn't working, I'm not getting that many people to my landing pages, something needs to change. So you can see this through using Google Analytics. You want to measure the whole funnel. You want to measure from the time visitors come to your website to the time they become a customer. You want all of this to be measurable. You need all of that information, because if you don't know if something's working and if something's not. Some other free tools for measuring, we have Google Search Insights. So this is for tracking search volume on specific keywords and phrases. So that's more with SEO. Google Web Analytics that we talked about to track the visitor to your site and the time on your site. You can figure out if your landing page is effective or not, and you can tell that by bounce rates. Do people get referred and click and go to your landing page and then leave right away? Well, why is that? Something needs to change. So you can tell all of this through Google Web Analytics. So the bottom line for generating leads is that you want to start exchanging information. You want to get more into what you're doing, get more involved. You can do conference calls. You can generate leads that way. So after you establish a relationship online and you talk and you do some lead nurturing, you could set up conference calls, Skype meetings, even face-to-face meetings with people who are local within your area. And then you can start doing direct emails and stop using the social media outlet. So how do you keep leads through social networking? You have to post often. And to start out, I would say at least once a week. And on Monday's webinar, we talked about how often you should post to the different social media outlets. So follow that outline. Make sure that what you post is interesting, that you share information. Email people who show strong interest. Ask for their direct email. Say, okay, well, we made this connection. Let's talk direct now. Then ask for a meeting. Again, whether that be on GoToMeeting, on the phone, whatever you need to do. Check in weekly with them and monthly. So some guidelines to follow: do not start promoting your brand or website. So once you get a Facebook fan page and a LinkedIn account and Twitter and all of that good stuff, just don't start promoting yourself. Post an introduction to yourself, do some lead nurturing, start it that way. We're going to get more into that on Monday. But don't start promoting yourself, because people will mark you as spam, and then no one will ever look at your posts. And most likely if you're on LinkedIn, you'll get booted out right away. So start with a brief introduction of yourself and start some lead nurturing. Share some blog posts, give people information. Just be yourself. Don't try to sell yourself. Be interesting, visit communities, but be yourself. Initiate contact. Keep in contact with people. Finish everything. If you start a discussion, make sure you respond to everyone's posts right after that. Remember that social networks do not generate leads. People do. You do. So once you're signed up for a network, you need to work it, just like any other networking group. Work the groups, because this is a great way. It's low. It's a low cost. It's effective, and it's fun. So remember, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by using social media to generate leads for your company. Now, I want to talk to you for just a moment about some offers for people who are attending today's session. I talked a little bit about our social media marketing campaign package, and to learn more, you can visit our website. It's a 2-month project where we actually give you a social media specialist, and they get you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So for Facebook, they make you an account for your business, a welcome page, a landing page. For LinkedIn, they get you in there. They get you onto not 50 groups, but 100 groups. We have a way of doing that. And we get you on Twitter, and we also can write blog content too. We give weekly reporting on the results through Google Analytics. And normally the price is $2,800, but because we just entered our 4th year of business, we're doing an anniversary special where we're giving $500 off of the package. So if you want to learn, there's a lot more information to this package. Just visit our website on the social media section, and you can read more about that. We also have a social media marketing course for beginners. It's a 5-day on-demand course, meaning it's 10 hours of training. You have access to these videos for 1 month, and you can watch them at any time. Watch them at your leisure. We go through marketing strategies, lead nurturing, social media landscape and social media strategies, and a lot more. And the cost for this class is $99 flat fee, and you have access to the course for 1 month. So if you want to learn more about that, go to our social media section and click on Marketing Course. We are having more Social Media 101 webinars coming up. On Monday, we have one, Becoming an Expert, which I talked about a little bit today. And that's going to be at 2 o'clock Central Time on Monday. We're going to talk about the top 10 strategies to become a go-to resource. We're going to talk about how to pick significant resources to share. We're going to also discuss the top 5 links for credible sources with detailed examples, the best practices for maintaining discussions and getting others to share your content, and using marketing analytics to test your campaigns and get the best results. So today we talked about Google Analytics a little bit. We're going to talk more about it and more about measuring and those other outlets that we talked about today in more detail. So just visit our webinars page to sign up for that. The whole month of December, we're going to continue our Social Media 101 series. We're going to have one on building relationships. How do you do that? Managing and maintaining an online group. So actually showing you how to start a group on LinkedIn and how to maintain it, how to grow it like we've grown Naperville Business Network. How to get started on blogs. How do you do that? And more on social media marketing. And of course, we're going to have our ever popular webinar, Web Design, What You Should Know to Make Informed Decisions About Your Website Needs. So if you are a business owner and are not sure how to hire a company, what to look for as far as your website goes, or you're thinking about a redesign, or you're just not sure what to do at this point, please attend that webinar. And our whole December schedule will be up on December 1st. So now we're going to do Q&A. So hopefully we have some questions. Sometimes we don't have any. So I do see some questions here, so we'll go through those in just a moment. What I'm going to do, if you have questions that you didn't type them out now. I'm going to go through our contact information and leave this up while we're answering questions. So you can see all of our information here, links to our social media outlets. Don't forget about the anniversary special for the social media marketing package or the social media course, and check out our webinar schedule to continue in the Social Media 101 series. So let's go ahead and look at questions that we have. Someone asked if this webinar is recorded. Yes, it is in full. It will be available on our website under the recording section at the end of today. Someone else said, I missed Monday's webinar. Am I able to get a copy of the slides from that webinar as well as today's? Slides are not made available because they are copywritten, but the recordings are on our webinars recordings page. Okay. And those are the only two questions. So great. That means I answered all your questions. It's pretty straightforward, which is good. I want to go ahead and leave up our contact information for just a few more minutes. I want to thank you all for attending, and a lot of you helped me to spread the word today about our webinar. So you are on some social media outlets that do work. We had a couple hundred people attending today, so they do work. They are effective. Again, if you missed Monday's webinar, please visit our website and watch that recording and continue to attend the Social Media 101 series. Like I said, the next webinar is on Monday, Becoming an Expert. So definitely check that out. So I want everyone, again, thank you for attending and have a wonderful weekend.